last night as I'm making this video, there was a multiple shootings going on throughout Kenosha, Wisconsin, due to the violent riots that have been perpetrated by violent Black Lives Matter activist thugs. A 17-year-old wielding a AR-15 or a long rifle allegedly killed 2 individuals, and not fatally but seriously injuring another one, basically blowing off his arm. I can't show that, obviously. But yeah, so we're going to go over some information here because there's a lot of questions in the air, questions that I myself have. It's not certain as to what is going to be the fate of this young man. So let's just go over some key information before we dive into the meat and potatoes of the video. So under Wisconsin open carry law, 17-year-old Kyle Rittenhouse was legally allowed to have a firearm at Kenosha protests. Wisconsin is sort of a free state. They have pretty lax open carry laws. You can carry a firearm, at least a long rifle, it seems, without a permit or a license or any of that nonsense. So could the suspect carry the rifle legally? Even Kyle Rittenhouse, a 17-year-old militia member who has been arrested and is facing a homicide charge in the matter, could carry the assault-style rifle. There's no such thing as an assault-style rifle. But anyways, according to John Monroe, a lawyer who specializes in gun rights cases, while state law seems to make clear that anyone under 18 who goes armed with any deadly weapon is guilty of a Class A misdemeanor, the statute seems to carve out an exemption for most rifles and shotguns. Interesting. So can you use deadly force to protect property? No. Videos from earlier Monday night showed Rittenhouse apparently guarding a used car lot along with other men with guns. Comments on social media about some of the videos from purported witnesses indicated that Rittenhouse may have verbally confronted someone who was attempting to damage cars, and that the person then began chasing Rittenhouse. It's unclear exactly what prompted the initial confrontation. It is very unclear. Again, this will have to be debated in the court of law. So if an individual starts damaging property, doing rioting, BLM, thug type things, based on this, he can't be engaging them with firearms and shooting it out, even if morally speaking it would be the right thing to do. You can't be killing people over property, at least in this context. Let's see. So was Rittenhouse acting in self-defense when he fired his weapon? Many gun rights advocates believe he was, based only on watching the videos, but that would ultimately be a question for a jury to answer. Nick Clark, president and CEO of Wisconsin Carry Gun Rights Advocacy Group, who instructs classes for those obtaining concealed carry permits, thinks Rittenhouse followed the principles of such courses. So it's like we teach to retreat when possible. Clark said he's fleeing, but the threat follows him. He thought Rittenhouse showed restraint in not immediately shooting one of the people he later shot in the elbow after the man first halted his approach to Rittenhouse and then lunged at him. Others will likely argue the people going after Rittenhouse in the street after the first shooting were attempting to detain him for police or get him to drop the gun and avoid further shootings. What charges will Rittenhouse ultimately face? Who fucking knows? Does Wisconsin have a stand your ground law? This is important. No. Such laws like in Florida say you can threaten or use deadly force in response to a perceived threat or great bodily harm without first having to try to retreat or escape the threat. Wisconsin does recognize the so-called castle doctrine, which presume a person acted lawfully in self-defense when they use deadly force within their home, vehicle, or business. But that presumption can be overcome with evidence that the use of force was unreasonable. Does qualified immunity apply? Obviously not. He's not a cop. So does stand your ground law, does Wisconsin have stand your ground law? Well, I mean, shit, this is this is news to me. This might be problematic for the defense of this individual. However, there were individuals on both sides who had firearms. There was militia members present, the Antifa, Black Lives Matter thugs, they were present, and they had firearms. One of the individuals that were shot and survived had a firearm. He had a pistol. I'm going to throw up the image right here. That's, context matters, but so does the laws currently standing in the state of Wisconsin where this took place. Another thing that's really interesting to keep in mind is that the boy, Kyle, 17 years old, he does not reside in the state. He lives about 40 to 45 minutes away in Illinois, Antioch, Illinois, I believe. So that matters. So now let's go ahead and dive to the individual himself. This is Kyle. Oh, goodness. I did not mean to blow that up. So Kyle Rittenhouse, about 17 years old, male. He is Hispanic, and he lives in Illinois. This is relevant information. This raises a lot of questions. Not raises a lot of questions. This makes me question some of my initial beliefs, because what's going on in the country is unprecedented. We haven't seen this in a long time, but on one hand, I tell people to stay away from these violent Black Lives Matter activist thugs. They do not care what the color of your skin is. They will kill you. They will attack you. And the corrupt prosecutors all throughout the country, especially in places where there's a lot of Democrats in power, like in Kenosha, Wisconsin, they'll let Black Lives Matter activists go. They won't charge them with crimes, even though there's evidence that they committed very violent and disgusting crimes. But if you go against the modern leftist ethos, they will go after you. They're giving this kid first-degree murder charges. This is serious. He shouldn't have done that. So on one hand, I tell people to stay the fuck away from these violent activists. They will kill you. David Dorn died. He was a black man. He was killed by black activists, shot. Oddly enough. And but I also understand the other side of the argument. Other people who are saying, we're sick of these families being brutalized, being terrorized, being intimidated by these violent Black Lives Matter activist thugs who are burning people's businesses down, burning their property, targeting, intimidating them, standing on their lawn, shining lasers, pointing weapons, making violent threats at them while people are in their homes afraid. People are fucking sick of it. People are sick of the violence, the intimidation tactics, the thuggery from Black Lives Matter activism. And the only people that seem to be condemning it is the president and people online, people on the modern right, and even liberals like Tim Pool are coming out hard against BLM and the Democratic Party. Don Lemon, CNN employee, personality on CNN, he's saying, Joe Biden needs to come out and seriously address the violence that has been ongoing all throughout the summer. That's a big deal, man. That's serious. So this is from Insider. Kyle Rittenhouse, a teen charged with first-degree homicide after shooting 3 Kenosha protesters with an AR-15, was obsessed with Blue Lives Matter and appeared on edge before shots rang out. Well, anybody would be on edge. They show up to protect people's businesses, to protect families, and you're being confronted by violent thugs that appear to want to start a fight. They're antagonizing other members of the militia. There's a lot of videos out there. One of the victims, one of the individuals that died, he was dropping N-bombs, getting in the faces of these militia guys who are there to basically stand up to these goons, these violent activists, and he's like saying, "Shoot me, N-word, shoot me, N-word," saying that to the militia people. So this is a white guy in league with the BLM people, and so this guy was looking for trouble. And I don't know. There doesn't appear to be any video showing what initially led to Kyle needing to pull the trigger and shoot this guy in the head. You see him running away. Elijah Schaefer, the content creator who's the owner of the Slightly Offensive channel, I think he works for the Blaze Network. He caught something interesting on camera. So Kyle seemingly appeared to have been on the phone with the police, and he said, "I think I killed someone." He's retreating. He's walking away. And then, of course, scroll down here. I'm gonna have to bleep out the violence, but people need to see this, man. All right, so they're chasing this guy. He's running away. He's retreating. So you have a large group of activists chasing him down. He trips. Try to kick him in the head. They try to hit him with a skateboard. They try to disarm him. They try to take his AR-15 away from him, and he shoots them. He fires back. So the adrenaline is rushing through his body. There's other shots to the right. It's unclear what those shots are related to. They don't appear to have been directed at Kyle. People are running away here. The police are likely responding to the call that Kyle made earlier. Because usually police don't respond to the violent rioters. They kind of allow the rioters to do whatever they want. So the adrenaline is pumping through his body. This is why he's running like a dork. This is how you would run in a dream, right? When you're running away from something spooky in a dream, and you just, you can't really run like you normally would or you think you would. So this is why he runs this way. And yeah, he seemingly surrenders. Nothing interesting happens. The cops roll up. They go to do what they got to do. But yeah, this is what's happening in America, you guys. Americans are fed up and they're standing up to these violent activist thugs, and people are dying. People are dying. Governor Tony Evers, Democratic governor, refused assistance from the President of the United States. President Trump was extending out his hand, and he said, "Hey, we're ready to help. We're ready to put an end to this." Tony Evers said no. Blood is on Tony Evers' hands. Again, on one hand, excuse me, on one hand, I think we should avoid these Black Lives Matter activist thugs. But on the other hand, families are suffering, and people got to stand up to them. People got to do the right thing because the police won't. The mayor of Kenosha, the governor of Wisconsin, absolutely refuse to condemn the violence in their cities, to condemn the violence in their state, and they are refusing the assistance of the President of the United States to quell the violence, to deter the violence, to put an end to this. Trump knows they're going to say no. Portland, they rejected assistance from the government, from Trump's administration. Chicago rejected assistance from the federal government. In Nevada, dickhead, that fat, disgusting slob, Governor Sisolak, told Trump, no, you can't do that. We don't need your shit here. Police officer was shot in the head, paralyzed because he got shot by a violent Black Lives Matter activist thug. I'm praying for Kyle, man. I hope, things work out in his favor, but I mean, things seem dire right now, legally speaking. It didn't seem like he had a right to really pop off that way. There's no stand your ground, but again, there's a lot of unknown variables here, and it's gonna have to be debated in the court of law. Man, I can't stand BLM. Those thugs got what they deserve. The memes, however, are pretty funny that are springing forth from this. I was gonna show them in this video, but it didn't seem appropriate. This kid Kyle, man, he seems like a good kid. He wanted to be a cop. So this is him, a part of like this little kid cadet program, and this is Kyle looking a little dorky, but he's just a sweet kid. Was on his social media platforms. I'm not going to post them here. Most of them are privated at this point in time, and he just seemed like he wanted to help people. And there's an interview of him. We're going to go ahead and watch that really quickly.
We're protecting from the citizens, and I just got pepper sprayed by a person in the crowd.
So you had non-lethal, but you didn't respond.
We don't have non-lethal.
So you guys are full on ready to defend the property.
Yes, we are. Now, if I can ask, can you guys step back? Medical, EMS right here. I'm an EMT. We're protecting.
Yeah, man. I don't know, man. Things do not look good for him. I like I said, there's still quite a few unknown variables. If they're destroying property right in front of them, I guess they got to let him do it. But it appears that they attacked him. So if they attack you and your life is in peril, what are you supposed to do? And he is legally allowed to carry the gun, but there's no stand your ground laws in place in this specific part of the country. Unlike where I live, I can stand my ground and it'd be totally legal. So who knows what the fate of this young man is? He seems like a good kid. He seems like a sweet kid. He had his heart in the right place, but they're doxing him. They're gonna fucking ruin his family. They're gonna give his family hell. Am I wrong for thinking it's just not worth it, and to just let the violent thugs do violent thug things? Or should we stand up to this kind of nonsense and push back against the globalists, against the Marxists, against the violent Black Lives Matter activist thugs? I don't know, guys. I don't know. But, again, I'm praying for the family. Fuck Antifa. Fuck Black Lives Matter. Those activists are fucking violent scumbags. They've destroyed people's lives. They've taken their jobs. They burn things that are not theirs to the ground, things that have meaning. Things that keep families well fed, and they don't care. They've targeted sick children. They've tortured animals without any hint of remorse or shame or disgust with themselves. Absolutely reprehensible. Absolutely reprehensible. Good luck, Kyle. You're going to need it.